Hello and welcome to The Pond, the strange corner of YouTube, where we do reviews, deep dives, analyze Disney villains, and highlight cows. And here we go. The pigs are here. We have 12 of them. I'm your host, the Bullfrog, and the Newt is not here. If he was, he'll be behind that camera saying face reveal at 100,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you want to see that face as much as we want to have those subscribers. You click the thumbnail, we're analyzing Disney villains. We're looking for the darkest Disney villain. We're basically looking for this. That has Disney. And you clicked on the thumbnail. It's obvious. We're going to analyze Amos Slade from Fox and the Hound. So let's just get it started. Let's get on to it. He's very simple. His colors are very common. I mean, brown and white. These are colors that are very bland when you look at the color wheel in general. It's not eye-catching. And the fact that they designed his face to be, well, it's very simple on how to look at it. So, yeah, there's nothing really eye-catching about Amos. Yes, he has that beautiful mustache, but it's like you could lose him in a sea of people. If he was in the city, he may be more obvious, but if you throw him in the middle of nowhere, he would fit perfectly. You won't see him. That, I feel like, it may hurt. It just makes him, meh. Yeah, that's the best way how to say it. It makes him meh. But the only thing that can catch our attention is the hat. Because it's that green, beige, mostly green. Look, it's not bright green, but it's green. Which means we have to go off a tangent for a bit. If you're new to the channel, the thing you gotta know is there's a pattern of a lot of Disney villains that have green. And whether it's smoke or eyes, anything about them, if there's green, we put them in the green club. What does this mean? We don't know exactly, but once we go through the free-for-all, we're gonna keep up their numbers and see when everyone ends up where they are, that the green club may mean something or not. We don't know. We're going to find out in the free-for-all. But we're just pointing out that he's there.
You've got it. And I don't even know what it is, but you got it. And that's why you're in the band.
Okay, the green is done. Let's get more back into this very easy design. There's nothing really there, like we kind of established. But this is an animated movie, which means voice actor. Now I have to look at our handy-dandy notebook that is off-screen. And he's being voiced by Jack Albertson. How come that name rings a bell? The grandpa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Gene Wilder version.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
A very different performance compared to that one.
And next time I won't miss.
The movie really implies that Amos has a temper. But unlike most Disney villains and movies throughout the age of Hollywood and visual storytelling, when someone's mad, they tend to yell.
They have my son!
But the way how they written Amos and the way how Jack reads off of the script and acts with this character, it's not yelling. There's more like a gruff, raw, pointing at you, get off my lawn. I think he actually says that.
If I ever catch that fox on my property again, I'll blast him.
It's very rare where you have a villain not yelling. So kudos to the performance and director for having him not go that route. It doesn't mean he's always angry. Yeah, they written him and they act like there's a trigger. It takes one simple thing and this guy will go crazy and mad, but it doesn't mean there's no softness to him. And that aged sound, it makes it sound like he's authentic, that this is a guy who does live off the land. He prefers to be out. He almost sounds like he's a hermit. You can hear that this is a guy who would live like a hermit. Am I right?
Well, Copper, me and old Chief are going to teach you all about hunting. Yes, sir.
Maybe this is more closer to Edgar the Butler from Aristocats. Because the way how he was designed, he's meant to feel like an average Joe. Hence the reason why he's so easy and simple and not eye-catching. I feel like this is the same thing with Amos. He's meant to be simple and plain, to be lost in a crowd. He's meant to be like that. That's his point. But he's more out there in the wilderness. He's not meant to be average Joe. He's meant to be the wilderness Joe. I think is probably the better way how to say it. But this is what he has for his design. So, yeah, there's that reason. But it's not as eye-catching. So, let's call it 50-50. He's a 2.
Dagnabbit.
All right. Presence. One of the hardest things to analyze, but we have come up with a formula. So this is a formula within our own formula.
Like a taco within a taco? A double-decker taco supreme.
Basically, this is what we have come up with. And let's go into Amos Slade's intro. And that is, it's not his introduction. You see his house, and you see him driving in his car to show off Chief, his old dog. He has a gift. Copper the Bloodhound.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
This is Copper's introduction. How this is a bloodhound, and what is Amos's goal?
Well, Copper, me and old Chief are going to teach you all about hunting. Yes, sir.
That's it. But that's the point, is it? He's meant to be simple and plain, to be lost in a crowd. This introduction just establishes the promise and threat of Amos Slade. That he's going to turn Copper, one of the main characters, into a hunting dog. And that hunting dog is a friend with a fox. This is the interesting duality of the fox and the hound. And that is friendship versus nature, and what the fox and the hound, who is Todd and Copper,
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
their choices of what should they choose and what this would lead to. Everything seems easy about Amos Slade, right? It's not him. It's about Todd and Copper. So shouldn't I do a Disney villain video about Copper and Chief? Actually, no. Those two characters, Chief and Copper, Amos is at the center. Nay, it's the soul, the heart of their stories. Because Amos Slade is a hunter.
Really? I couldn't tell.
Let's highlight it. It's in his history. Look, this scene is actually highlighting Amos and Chief as a team. These kills that they have. And Amos loves to go on hunting trips. He goes on them once in a while.
A long one from the looks of it.
But these hunting trips are more complicated than just a trophy hunter, because he's hunting in the middle of winter. So he's really living off the land. So Amos Slade likes to play the game alone.
No one around to hear me, except God and the wilderness.
But he has been training and wanting nothing more than to live off the land in this regard. Heck, take a look how he and the widow live. It's very off the grid. Yeah, you could probably point out maybe it's because of the time period. You can mostly see through their cars. But it's more living off the land lifestyle. When he's at home, he's living off his chickens. But when he's out hunting, he's foraging, he's hunting. This is a lifestyle. So those trophies that we pointed out with him and Chief, those are the rewards of him hunting. But the meat he is eating. So this is not a pointless hunter from Bambi. This is a guy who has a lifestyle.
Wagging his tail, saying, I'm happy. I like this. I really like it.
Yeah, this is complicated. We're going into the history of Amos, but that's the point. He lives like this, and he wants to succeed and be better. That is why he bought copper. He wants copper to improve their food potential.
Well, Copper, me and old Chief are going to teach you all about hunting. Yes, sir.
With Chief teaching Copper and a bloodhound being taught to be hunting by an older dog, Copper's going to be a behemoth. This is what Amos wants. This is just through history. Sheesh. We're almost done. We have to just go into the environment. And this is, again, very complicated to go into. Really, it is. Because with environment, that is about the Disney villains and how they're eating up the screen and how they affect the camera or the way how the scene looks. It's all about them. Amos Slade, when you look at him in the environment, it's very unique because it all revolves around Chief. Before Chief's injury, Amos Slade, his colors are bright and his brightness matches the widow. But after Chief's injury, he's more in the shadows and his color's a little bit more darker. It's not like to 100 or to 75%. No, I'd say it's about 5% of his colors have become darker and his mood has changed. Well, duh, your dog got hurt.
Sounds fair.
We'll go more into that with Acts of Villainy. Through this chunk of time, the environment is highlighting he's going through a dark path. He's become a dark character. And that there is a dark goal. Get Todd for revenge. Hey, there's a lot of depth here. And we're almost done with presents. We are. We just have to go into time. And for that, I have to go to the handy-dandy notebook. Right here. Because we record every Disney villain. This is to help us to find the free-for-all. So this group thing you see right here, this is not a tier list. We're going to see who is number one. And in the free-for-all, the time may help or hurt each villain. So, how long has Amos been on screen? Well, it's been 10 minutes and 18 seconds, estimatedly. But here's the interesting thing. In that time that we have him on screen, 3 minutes and 10 seconds, estimatedly, is him in that hunt mode where everything is darker, his colors, his mood, that mindset. It's 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I already said that, but just trying to rehash that.
Get on with it!
Very interesting. But when you look at his presence, it's not really felt, though. It's more about the story of Amos. That is his presence. You have to sit down and look at it. So, him in the movie, it feels like it's 50-50, not 100%, like Darth Vader. So, I'll give him that 50-50. I'll give him a 2 here.
Dagnabbit.
This is probably the lightest part of his character analysis. Because he's a human versus animals. And sentient animals, which means thumbs come into account to his power. Which also means he has a gun, though he aims more like a stormtrooper. But he does have means. He bought those traps somehow. Maybe those skin kills we see, maybe some of those he sells so he can buy ammunition and such.
Sounds fair.
But part of his power is his dogs.
Gotta think nasty. Smelling and tracking ain't enough.
His bread and butter. Him trying to be improving and being better in order to have that lifestyle. Everything's built on copper, but copper does have that relationship with Todd. So this friendship kind of rebels against what Amos wants to have.
Copper's gonna come back a trained hunting dog. A real killer.
But yet Copper still fulfills the role of hunting dog. I mean, take a look at those skills. There's something there. So I won't give him 100%, but there's still a whole lot there. So I'll give him a 3 in power. For his acts of villainy, I think it's going to be its own video. It's very complicated, and really, there's a lot of depth to it. And I don't want this video to feel too long, so we're going to make that be its own video. And I hope we do well. But until that time comes, this is the Bullfrog signing out. To be continued.
The devil himself couldn't have done no better.